Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 17, and welcome back to the Western Shore. We're getting it done, man. We are getting it done. I've been mowing, I've been using the Ford T-Dub on our grass fields. We're going to talk a bit about horsepower today. I won't talk your ear off. But we've got everything done except for field 5-8. And this is what I realized. I got some great tips in comments. Some people reached out to me on Discord, and I'm making sense of this. I am. So you look at a field like this right over here. This is field 5-8. This is the only field we haven't mowed yet. That's got to be a 20% grade, right? Now, when we were using the Ford T-Dub across the highway, I'd say it's about the same, maybe a little bit less. And with gearbox turned off, but more realistic on, after we made the edits to the more realistic XML, T-Dub with this mower, up those hills with the mower turned off, right? We were only mowing side hill and downhill, and then we would deadhead back up the field. With the mower turned off, not drawing any power, 2 to 3 miles per hour up the field, up the hill, up the fall line, really. But we were moving smoothly and steadily, right? I'm okay with that. I think that is appropriate. I think that's reasonable. And you know what got me thinking is somebody told me we had a combo baler on our JCB. Our JCB is 200 horsepower. We had a combo baler on it. Let's get to work too. I'll talk at you while we're working. We're gonna gather up some grass with our loading wagon that we leased and get it put up. The first thing you'll notice is at the top of the screen we are getting a warning that we need to change the oil in the JCB. That is courtesy of the Black Panther Group oil change mod. So we'll knock that off. Start that up. Brakes off. And our oil is back in the corner there. I brought a pallet of it up from the store. So what I'm going to do is pull in there and see if we get the key combo to make that oil change. If we don't, I'm going to pull out, drop the weight, pull back in. There are times when it's almost like the workshop, where the workshop trigger box can see everything that's in there, and because it keeps seeing your weight, it doesn't want to let you do anything else. So we'll see. We go right in here. Oil change, left control T. Don't mind if I do. And I think, did it give it to us? Change necessary. I said left control T. Oh, let's try this. Select the tractor. Left control T. That time it got it. Okay, beautiful. And then we also want to back out. We are also running the Black Panther Group DEF mod. So if we come over here and grab our little tub of DEF, add blue, all right, pick this up. Take it right over here. And again, I think the triggers may interfere, you know, just a little too close together. Set this right here. And if we go in here, then do we have, did I see it? Refill add blue. Add disc. No, I'm not seeing it. Where would it be? Handbrake. No, I'm not seeing refill add blue, unless it needs to be somewhere different. Let's move it around a little bit, see if we can get it in the right spot. Maybe over here. Perhaps. Refill DEF. There we go. Alright. Beautiful. Yeah, those are both from Black Panther Group. Their website is a little bit hard to find. It's like blackpanthergroup.de. Oh, you know I don't link to mod sites, but if you can track those down, they are very cool mods. They're sort of quality of life mods. You know, they just make things a little more challenging, but in a good way. Right, so what was I being upset about? Realism. So we had this tractor at 200 horsepower on that combo baler. Well, I looked that combo baler up, the real one in real life. It weighs 5,600 kilos dry. No hydraulic fluid, no lubricating oil, no bales of wrap or netting. Just as it comes from the dealer, 5 tons. And a hay bale with wet grass is about 1,500 pounds. So the most that it can have in it is 2. You've got one in the rack, wrapped, ready to be dropped, and you've got one in the pre-press chamber. So that's another 1.5 tons, right? So you're coming up on 14,000 pounds. And in fact, because we're right next to the field, let's have a visual aid. So we'll go right up here. When we were slowing down in the JCB with the baler on, would be hop the gate right over here, moving from left to right. And again, that's probably 10, 15, maybe right up at the top here, maybe 20%. You're pulling 14,000 pounds up a hill like that. That in and of itself is a challenge. It's been raining for 3 days, so the field is wet, right? There are a lot of variables. Bottom line, it would be difficult to pull that baler up a hill like that just as a load, just as a cargo. Then you throw on the PTO, and that's pulling horsepower and torque away from the engine. So I guess what I'm realizing is it comes down to us as sim farmers. Of course we want to play realistically. And we can. But when I see some of the notes and some of the comments from the creator of More Realistic, I think this is a person who, I feel like they don't want to be more realistic. I feel like they want to be completely realistic. And we need to be careful when we're playing video games, because we want a certain type of realism, but we don't necessarily want, and in some ways we couldn't really even deal with complete realism. It would spoil the game. It would ruin the game for us. And an example, I think, would be spinning our wheels. Let's lock in a little four-wheel drive, and we'll lock in our differentials. An example would be Farm Simulator. If you go bankrupt, your serial number invalidates, and you can't play the game anymore until you buy another copy. Hey, man, that's reality. That's what happens when you go bankrupt in real life. Ain't nobody gonna do business with you. You're too high a risk. But now, you just start again. Or imagine a tactical shooter where if you get killed, your buddy doesn't come over, your co-op partner doesn't come over and wave their hands in your face, and then you're magically recovered and you continue fighting. No. The serial number invalidates. You're dead. That's realism. In real life, when you die, you have to stop playing because you're dead. Realistic, but not very much fun. So we need to find those balances as gamers. We need to find the right way to challenge ourselves without... Right? It's up and running. Without making things so onerous that we can't even have fun. So I do want to continue to try to play as realistically as possible. And to that end, what I've decided, or the conclusion I've come to, and we need to be careful with this thing because... Now, is this the one? There are 2 Mengele forage wagons. Yeah, this is a tangent. I'll come back to that other thought momentarily. There are 2 Mengele loading wagons. One of them, if you go too fast, the blades will load up and it will stop working. You have to get out and knock the grass out of the blades manually. Or straw, whatever it is you're picking up. I couldn't tell which one was which, either from the websites I downloaded them from or from the store in-game. So I just leased one, and it seems like I've leased the other one, not the one I was thinking of. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. So we're going to now lift our pickup, turn this thing off, and we're going to drive up the fall line, straight up to the top of the field, if we can, and then we will only pick up grass on the way downhill. Which sort of ties in with the thought that I still needed to sort of conclude. This tractor is 200 horsepower. Our T-Dub is 150. Our Massey Ferguson 5600 is 130. I guess there's 2 ways to solve the problem. One way is to get much more powerful tractors. The other solution is to use smaller equipment. Well, I want to stay between 100 and 200 horsepower. So what we're going to do is use smaller and more appropriate equipment. So something like that combo baler. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the comments. I've said before, I like being wrong. That's how you learn things. And it was inappropriate. That was too big a baler for this tractor under these conditions, with these steep grades and wet fields, etc. In the future, we'll use the little New Holland round baler at 70 horsepower, I think it requires. Only holds one bale at a time, right? There's no wrapper on the back, so you can have two bales on there. One bale at a time, and we will then come back and wrap them with the McHale bale wrapper. But I'll try to continue playing as realistically as possible. I'm just always looking for that balance, right? Because I do want to have fun. We all want to have fun when we play video games. And I guess a challenge within a challenge within a challenge. It's like an enigma shrouded by a mystery, wrapped in a tortilla. Another challenge for us is that when we're challenging ourselves, when we're playing a video game, or when we're setting up a video game or configuring it to our taste, that we don't make it too easy, right? That we don't have challenges that we know we can always sort of beat. And that we also don't have challenges that are impossible, and it's just miserable. We don't even have any fun when we play that game. I'll look for the sweet spot, right in the middle. I definitely want to be challenged, and I mean, we will be. That's one of the reasons that I did not mow field 5-8 on camera. That's going to be a nightmare. It really is. It's going to take a long time. I mean, this map is already slow going, and we've only got one farm in play. We are just about full. Is that us full? We're getting the warning. We're still picking up grass. Still picking up grass. There it is. What's our volume when we're full? 19,300. Okay. So yeah, that's the takeaway. Now, we are taking this to the BGA. No, not the BGA, the other one. We're taking this to the Compost Master. Now, the Compost Master on a German map typically requires you to manually add fuel to it. I don't know if that's going to be the case on this map. I know you can add and remove those things, configure it different ways. So we're going to take this up to the Compost Master. We are at 12 minutes. If it does require fuel, we'll just dump it in there, and then I'll go back off camera with a fuel tanker and get it running. If it does not require fuel, we'll still just dump it in there, but it will be operating. Then we're going to come back here. We're going to add silage additive to the tank on this loading wagon. We're going to pick up another load of grass, and we're going to drop it into the bunkers. And hopefully that will take us to about 30 minutes. Then off camera, I'll finish raking up these fields. I'll get the rest of this grass taken to the Compost Master and one of our pits, respectively. I'll get field 5-8 mowed, raked, and put up somewhere. We want to risk it? Yeah, let's risk it. We're gonna head east on Bramble Lane and hope we don't encounter any oncoming traffic. Hope. And the next episode, we will either be fertilizing our grass fields or possibly harvesting our wheat. But I did get, we have, I think, about 40 hay bales and about 40 silage bales. So we have enough food for our cows till at least, till at least next first cut. So we don't need to worry about running out. They'll be okay. I'm curious when they're going to start reproducing. I imagine it is, as in 19, starts on the first day of the second year. So we'll wait for that to happen. And I think, yeah. And very quickly here, while we have a minute. Oh, with the purple and orange. Oh, game. This is our whole world right here, the center of the map. Right? And it is getting to be a handful. That's all we've done so far. There are 7 more farms on this map. And this is a big one right here in front of us. There are, I want to say, 2 other cow pastures already installed. Well, it's 17, not 19, so of course they're installed because the map maker put them in. And then I want to say there are a couple sheep meadows and a couple pig farms. So yeah, this would be a great multiplayer map. It really, really would. Spend a lot of time on this map with 4 other people, 5 other people. But we've got our hands full. I've got my hands full. And with the, I don't want to say slow equipment, let's say appropriate equipment. With the appropriate sized equipment, all of our tasks take quite a while off camera. I don't mind. I mean, we're sim farming. I love it. But it's some hours of work to get everything in place and get it ready for the next episode. Yeah, down there, see those 2 yellow pipes? I suspect that is where we need to add the diesel. But at the very least, we should be able to dump this in there and at least empty out the loading wagon. We'll go back up, we'll put in our silage additive, we'll fill it again with grass. Take that down to one of the pits on the farm. About there. Is that far enough? That's a little better. Oh. That's a little better. Still not perfect, but that's a little better. Okay. So we pull forward. Let's get off this ramp. Yeah. I had a feeling. Now, on most of the German maps where I've seen the Compost Master used, you can only use the Coda Universal pack to add fuel, but I didn't see anything in the notes. Yep, that's our diesel point right there. I didn't see anything in the notes for this map indicating that you had to run the Coda Universal pack, so it could be that there are other fuel transport trailers that you can use that will work just the same. I imagine the map maker would have let you know if there's only one way to get fuel in there and it's a mod pack. They would have let us know, hey, you got to use this. But I know on some of the German maps that I've played, I want to say on Hofbergman, you can only add fuel to the Compost Master using the Coda Universal. So we'll find out momentarily. It'll be off camera, but we'll know soon enough. I'll get that running. That will make compost for us, which we can then either sell or use as fertilizer. And the difference between taking silage down to the BGA and taking grass to the Compost Master is, first, for one thing, you don't get paid. And another thing is you don't get any digestate. Concentrating, looking for our turn. It's going to sneak up on me. There it is. So well, we would need to take the grass to a bunker. We would need to ferment it into silage. Then we would take the silage to the BGA, and we would get fertilizer, digestate, and we would get paid. And instead, we're sort of skipping a step. Save game. We're skipping a step, but we're also getting our fertilizer quicker. And I want to say it's more or less instantaneous. Once we add fuel in there, we'll immediately begin spitting out compost. I'm curious what we can sell that for. I mean, I can check the price easily enough, but I don't know if it's going to compare to what you get for silage. Silage, the miracle. If you need to get out of a financial jam, that is the way to do it. Oh, almost forgot. We are going to put the silage additive in. That pallet that I got will last, I would estimate, 150 years. It'll last forever. I think you put it in like 100 liters at a time, and then you can treat 3 or 4 loads of silage of grass with what's in the tank on the loading wagon. And I put it back in the corner. I found a good home for it. I think it is back around the corner here. Carefully, don't jackknife. Back there. See if we can hit the trigger. There it is. Start refilling. And if you're looking, it's down in the lower right-hand corner where the blade wear indicator is, so it's above the main vehicle HUD down in the lower right-hand corner. And you know what? Let's just go 50 liters. No need to sit here for X number of minutes waiting for it to fill. Yeah, 20 minutes. So we'll go 50 liters, which I want to say is about 50%. And head back over there. There we are. All right. Now when we drove up the fall line in field 5-1, when we drove up the fall line, we had some grass in here that we had picked up. I rode up in field 50. I rode up the very bottom of it so we wouldn't be driving back and forth across it multiple times as we were getting in and out of the field. So I cleared a little area out. We picked that up on the way in and did drive up the fall line with some grass in the loading wagon, but not very much. So I'm curious now, because we're going to drive up the fall line empty, pick up grass on the way down, and then head back up the fall line if we're not 100% full. So I'm curious if we'll have enough horsepower to get up here, essentially. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we seem to be making good progress up here now. But I'm curious what it's like with... well, if a 4,000 liter hay bale is 2,000 pounds, then 10,000 would be 20,000. So if this thing's half full, it's about... oh, hang on, head math. Let me pull over here. If a 4,000 liter hay bale is 2,000 pounds, then 2.5 would be about 5,000 pounds, so 2 tons. So when this thing is half full, it's got 2 tons in it, and it probably weighs a couple tons, so we'd be driving up a steep, wet field, pulling 4,000, 5,000, maybe 6,000 pounds. Okay. All right. Dropping the pickup, here we go. And when I did my raking, I tried to rake so that all of these rows were either downhill or side hill. And again, I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know if a farmer would do that in real life. It seems to be helping, but I don't know if you would, if that's a thing. I don't know. You know, one of the comments that I saw from the creator of More Realistic was, if you drive in a muddy field and configure the way they sort of want it configured, if you drive in a muddy field, you will get stuck and have to get another tractor and come and get yourself out. I like that realism, but as I was reading that, I was thinking of the superhero rule. And the superhero rule is, when you give someone a superpower, you have to give them a super vulnerability. If you don't, it's just boring and kind of dumb, right? That's why nobody likes Superman. He's just boring. He can do anything. So if the superpower that we're giving the environment is this incredible slipperiness, right? Mud, holes to drive into, inclines, grades, all that sort of stuff. We're giving the environment a superpower. Then there needs to be a super vulnerability. And you know, when you run seasons, you have the little tool, the whatever it is, the Wobster, the M9000. And it's an analysis tool. You can point at anything and it will tell you about that thing. And I think if there's a possibility of me getting stuck in a field, you know, this game doesn't have a ton of visual feedback. There would need to be a way that I could determine this is going to be a problem, right? There would need to be a tool that I could use to analyze a field and determine, yes, I am going to get stuck in here if I drive a tractor in here. I need to let it dry out, or I need to link 2 tractors together, or I need to do something to avoid that problem. If you don't have that option, then you just randomly get stuck in fields and you're really not sure why. And it sort of happens unexpectedly. It's unpredictable. And that's not good in gaming. The thing about video games is there always needs to be a way for you to either prevent something bad from happening, or worst case scenario, something bad happens, like in a shooting game, right? You're shot in the head. What the hell happened? Include some kind of replay so you can understand, oh, my head was poking up. I wasn't adequately in cover. There needs to be, in all gaming, there needs to be a series of rules that both you and the game developer are sort of sharing, right? Because if not, come on. If not, then things happen randomly, and it's no longer a question of skill. Now it's just things sort of happening, and that's not a lot of fun. So I'm okay with something like a field so muddy and traction so realistic that if you drive into that field, you can spin your wheels, dig yourself down into 4 holes, and it's no longer possible for you to get that tractor out without assistance. That's extremely realistic. I kind of like that. But there need to be some rules. We need to understand when and why and how that's going to happen. It can't just be a thing that randomly happens. That would be, you know what I mean? That would be a lot to deal with. So, yep, I'm looking for that balance. I think we'll find it. As I said when we started the video, I was okay moving very slowly up that field in the T-dub, pulling that mower. But that all felt just realistic. I think the edits that I made to the more realistic XML were just about right. Feels good, and I'm comfortable with it. So, definitely want the realism. I don't want to suffer. All right, we're heading into our farmyard here, and this is going to be the first time we head back to, I think we want to go to the pit by the water tank. It's on the correct side if we're going to be making food. Here. Just realized I left that gate open. How embarrassing. Moment, please. Oh, man. I do not like leaving gates open. I don't. Yeah, that would be realistic as well. Leave a gate open. When you come back, all your cows are gone. Sorry. Now, where's a good place to turn around down here? And where are we on time? 28 minutes. This could be perfect. Can we pull in here? I suppose. So we'll open this. Oh, these are our bales also. We've got about 40 of each. So, should be good to go on food for the cows all during the spring, summer, and fall. Alright, break this off. We're going to pull into that little shed on the right, back it in there, empty it out, and call it. Wait for this particular cow to move. There they go. So, can we swing that? I think we can. Oh. Or just scraping along that gate. No. Did not. Let's go out here then. Yeah. The famous Austin Powers move. No adjustment to the radius of the turn in either direction. We just went in and came back. All right. Do you do this? Oh dear. Oh dear. Do you do this when you sim farming? You wait for your cows? I wait for my cows. No. They do make you wait. There you go. All right. That's a little better. That's a little better. Okay. So we'll get down in here. There's our display. This is, I was a little concerned there as we began to descend the hill. I was trying to remember, is this definitely a clamp? It is. Okay. All right. And we're back in 17, so you got to keep opening. That was a nice addition for 19. In 19, when you're no longer able to empty. It stops emptying, but it doesn't end the emptying process. You just need to pull forward a little bit. All right, so that is empty. Close the tailgate there. And you know what? These cows are going to keep walking in front. It's 30 minutes. Let's just set the brake, hop out, and we'll call it right there. There you have it, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17. This is the Western Shore. We'll see you next time. Take care now.